Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Flags in a Gym, a podcast dedicated to all things color guard. My name is Eric. I'm your host and resident color guard nerd. And today's episode, Will and I are continuing our Dayton recaps with the Independent A class. We're talking all of the finalists plus some other news. So sit back, relax, and let's talk some color guard. Oh, okay. Episode 2 for Independent A, our second recap of the Dayton season. You ready to talk some Independent A?
I'm ready.
What were your overall thoughts for Independent A for the weekend?
Really strong batch of finalists. Top to bottom, really enjoyed every single one. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes there's maybe one or two. It's kind of like, okay, like, whatever. No, I like every single one was really enjoyable. Strong batch.
Yeah, I thought it was the top 3 was very interesting score wise, and then you
That
had
yeah, that when that yeah, at the end, how that shook out was like, wow, okay. Nothing shocked me, I guess, with this class. Well, there wasn't anything I was like, oh my gosh, I can't, blah, but it was good. Just yeah, it's exciting to see how it played out. And
yeah, and I think this was the ultimate class of ranking schmankings, like throw them all out the window.
oh, that's true because there were some of these that like came out of nowhere, right? Like,
Yep. So remember with Independent A, there were only 72 competing units. With Scholastic A, we had 140. So
mhm.
we have some groups here that are ranked literally middle of the pack coming into Dayton. Like one group was ranked 36th out of 72 groups coming, and they were second or third after prelims.
Mhm.
It was San Diego State. They were second or third, but they were
Yeah,
ranked like 36th
like
coming in. Like,
where did they come from? Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
people were like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So that was the big story. I made the post on my Instagram with the Laganja picture of,
Mhm. Oh yeah.
the California guards walking into prelims. Like, y'all wanted a twist. Yeah. And I think the other big story from Independent A, or at least for me, was the group from Thailand. Apparently
Oh
they go
yeah.
by BRR school is kind of their abbreviation. I talked to some people that were at the convention center for prelims, and apparently they were like celebrities there. Like everybody wanted a picture with the Thailand guard, and
So
they were
sweet.
exchanging Instagram information and all that stuff. So that made me happy, and I was super happy they made semis.
And apparently they were really like I had some friends that were there and they were like they were really good.
Yeah, I watched them. So I didn't see their semis run. Their prelims run, they started a little shaky. I mean, let's put it into perspective. They flew halfway across,
Like 8,900 miles or something. Yeah.
yeah, into their first probably legit WGI competition. So I'm sure there were nerves at play, but they locked in about a third of the way through, and I'm like, wow, like
Mhm.
yeah,
Cool.
excellent job. So happy to see more
Yeah.
international groups.
Yes, yes. Come do it. It's fun.
And the spreads of the top 3. So we had first place win by 1/10 of a point. Second beat third by 0.015. 15,000th of a point, second over third.
That's incredible.
And I'm pretty sure no penalties. I think I went and checked to see if anybody got a penalty.
I didn't, yeah, I don't think I noticed because I always, it's fun to look for those and, just to see like anybody get a penalty. Uh,
Yeah, because
but
you see those 10 pointers sometimes. You're like, what did you do?
ma'am, what did you do?
Because last year there were some 10-point penalties. We're like, what happened?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't think anybody had that happen, at least not in finals.
Yeah, I didn't see any penalties costing a medal or even costing a final spot either. I did see a couple penalties here and there, but apparently in open class for semifinals, the timing and penalty judge was like, for some reason on the warpath with the back's timing line, like the back line boundary,
Uh-huh.
there were like, I know at least 2. Homage and George Mason both got a backline penalty.
Ooh.
There might have been more, but just like,
Huh.
I guess they went out of the performance area because they have those little tick marks.
Yeah. Gosh,
I don't,
I
I
wouldn't have even
don't.
thought about that. Goodness.
Yeah, like who go? Yeah,
I'm always
whoever.
I'm always just concerned about the front. That's all I ever care about. I'm like,
Yeah.
but well,
So yeah, I think it was a very exciting time in A. The Independent A, the scores were better this time around. Guards were breaking 90 in prelims because that did not happen last year. And California came and said, "Don't forget about us."
all right.
And you're going to hear it a lot, kind of a running theme from us. Just it's a good mix of shows. There's a good mix of ups and downs. Kind of I say downs. Like a softer, more
Yeah.
subdued show, and there's some high energy ones. And our lovely first alternate was Glencoe High School, and they missed it by 0.44.
I think they're from Oregon, I think,
Yes, I believe that is correct.
which
Yeah.
is really cool. Yeah.
I saw them too, and I was like, "Oh, this is." I remember I couldn't watch all of it, and I was watching them in semis, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is really good," especially because it was a high school in Independent A.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the scores and was like, "Oh, they were the first alternate." Like,
Yeah. I think I could be totally wrong. I think coming out of prelims, they were in the top
I believe so. Yeah.
15, and then semis happened, and then things shifted, and then, which prelims was one thing, whatever, and then semis, and then that was another thing. Like it was like there was so much
So
moving
much moving
around in this
around.
class. It was wow, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like a couple guards moving around. No, it
It was
was
a lot
yeah,
going
because
on.
I think San Diego State was like second or third after prelims. Then semis they were 12
Hmm.
or something like that. Like they dropped. Like it's just like
I think they finished in 12th
yeah,
finals too. Yeah, so yeah, that's like okay.
yeah. It's like all right. It makes you wonder like what were the judges seeing? Because they had a single panel in semis too. So it's not like it
Oh,
was double. It's not like it was double panel shenanigans or anything. So all
okay.
right, you ready to talk these color guards?
Do it.
All right, so we got 15 guards to talk about. 15th place. We're laughing about this one. We're going to keep doing it. We have opulence. I have to say it slowly, and I'll explain why in a second. Opulence Winter Guard from Fenton, Michigan, and their show When It Falls. They were 15th. So just like Classic A, I'm going to give you their final place, their spot coming out of semis, and their ranking coming into Dayton. So they were 15th, obviously in finals, 15th coming out of semis, and then they were 19th in the rankings coming into the weekend.
Okay.
And we have to say the name slowly because if you've ever seen Drag Race season, might
One
have
of
been
those.
11
Yeah.
with Mercedes Iman Diamond, couldn't pronounce opulence and kept calling opulence
Opulence. I
while
own
voguing.
everything. And there's with the duck walk and
Opulence. So, so we're going to talk about opulence from Fenton, Michigan.
oh,
So
we are
they
saying it with nothing but love, by
do
the way.
nothing but
It
love.
is, it is yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, strong guard. I mean, they solid show.
I think it was like a heartbreak kind of or a relationship
Kind of
kind of
vibe. Yeah,
show.
kind of that vibe. Beautiful black costume and strong weapons. I enjoyed a lot of the weapon moments.
I love that opening one where it says release and she tossed and they kind of like drop her into like a split.
That was the big thing I thought with this group was the timing of their all of their events and how well connected it was to the soundtrack. That was really exciting to see, and it just kept occurring with yeah, just all the way from start to finish. They just did a great job of being fully connected to the audio. Yeah, it was just really solid show. It's a really solid show.
And it had these like little water droplet noises that would pop up through the soundtrack. It
That I
was,
didn't understand.
yeah,
I didn't quite understand that part, but it was interesting. It was kind of like, oh, okay.
it might
Um,
have been in the voiceover, but it's kind of hard to hear on the
yeah,
flow audio. So,
yeah. But again, just I mean, super solid.
and confetti in the flags, which we always love.
Yes, we always love. Yeah, we love confetti. So yeah, great flag feature. That white pole went right around, and boom, it was great.
And they own everything.
Upland.
Opulence. We say that
Congrats on
all.
making finals.
Congrats
Yeah.
on making most opulence. I'll say it correctly. Let's move on to 14th place. We had Old Line Independent from Frederick, Maryland, and their show On the Line. And even though they're from Maryland, this is not really a local guard. Frederick is way out there. I don't even know what circuit they compete in because they're not an AIA color guard. They might be KIDA because they're pretty close to the Pennsylvania line,
Yeah.
or maybe whatever West Virginia does. West Virginia has a circuit, right?
The West Virginia guards that I know of come over to do the Tri-State Marching Arts circuit, which is my circuit.
Mm.
So they'll come over to Kentucky or Ohio.
I have
Uh,
to look up and see what they compete in because I don't know what circuit they would do.
okay. Yeah, I don't know.
It's interesting. But they were 14th in finals. They were 14th out of semis, and they were 12th in the rankings coming into the weekend. and they had the like the green kind of grassy farmer cornfield floor with
Mhm.
the road in the middle and the telephone poles.
Open Poles and the Wichita Lineman song.
Yep.
Beautiful, beautiful cover of that, and great costuming. Like just, this show, the biggest thing that stuck out to me was just great design, just really well designed and enjoyable performance overall. I love that song anyway, so it was already like, oh, this is gonna be good. I'm here for this. And the set design was just, just it all just was very logical, I think. Smart, logical design choices, and they executed it really well and told the story. It checked all the boxes.
Yeah, checking the boxes. We were talking about in this Classic A episode with just the costuming in general at Dayton this year, with especially with the sequins. And I think we have of course we have a big sequin guard to talk about much later
Yes,
in
yes.
the episode. But just yeah, the costuming was great and just overall. I love in this show, I love the coloring of the like the ombre effects they gave of the flags. Like they had like the red to the orangey to the yellow that they use within all the silks to kind of create that feel on the floor. And
Yeah, give us that kind of felt very dusty, folky. I mean, it really fit the song,
yeah,
and fit it fit that sound to that song really really well, and just that kind of dusty road trying to connect. Nothing didn't have to think very hard about this one, which was nice. Sometimes it's a great show, but you gotta like really really think about it. This one was just very straightforward in a great way.
that's what I love about A class. Most of the shows are pretty straightforward and just you just
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
enjoy them. You don't have to overthink them.
Loved it. This is my kind of show. Like I would totally do a show like this. This is just great. Makes me happy, and so it just feels good. Just feels good. Yeah.
I think that's high praise if you say, "Oh, this is a show I would do." Like
Yeah,
I
definitely.
I would
There's
take
a
that
lot
as
of
high
stuff I
praise.
won't do. I wouldn't do. I'm like, I wouldn't do that, but
Let's move on to lucky number 13. We have Beaumont Independent from Knoxville, Tennessee. They were 13th in finals, 13th out of semis, and ninth coming in the rankings. And their show was To Tell the Tale.
and boy, did they ever. It was, I mean, even before they started, they had sort of, I wouldn't call it a pre-show exactly, but kind of. And
Mm.
that soloist, she was having a blast telling us exactly what she was about to do with her giant feathery quill pen, and just to start to write the story on the props, and loads of personality in every single performer that they just pumped out and made just this was just such a fun, joyful show to watch.
And they did that last year too, because last year they were the like the Till Death Do Us Part show with like the
Yeah,
graveyard and all
that's
that.
right. Yes, yeah, they love a strong character, and they will sell it. Yeah, this was just really enjoyable. It kind of gave me like kind of a Celtic-y vibe to it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
with the
the
music and everything.
music, and then that kind of old scroll work-esque kind of font.
Calligraphy, yeah.
Yeah, across the props, and yeah, it was just really fun.
And kind of like period costuming almost, like
Yeah, yeah,
color
kind of,
guard
yeah.
version of it. And
Yeah, and the rich kind of jewel tones, the greens and burgundies.
I love the pre-show shimmy we got. I'll call it a shimmy.
Yes, there was again,
I
there's
have other words I would
that
use, but
personality. There was so much of that scattered throughout, and yeah, it was great. It was really great. Solid group. I don't use They're from Knoxville, is that
yeah.
right? East Tennessee. Okay. Yeah. No, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and I love the ending flag feature. That was one of my notes. It's just the flag feature was nice. And yeah, the theming, the production value, the costuming, the props along the back, like the scroll paper, the parchment papers, and all that. Then they have like a feather quill feature too. Like a bunch of people come out with
Oh,
them.
that's right. Yeah, there was this big layered moment, like yeah, the weapons, the flags, and then the quill people, the quill people.
I'm on
Yeah,
the quill line. Thank you very much.
yes. That's a good point. The backdrops across the back, sometimes they're just kind of there, but they really did a good job of. I mean, they were there for their transitions, but it didn't feel forced. None of it felt forced or functional. I mean, it was functional, but like it didn't feel that way. They did
The
a
two
great.
F words we hate as designers.
Right. It's like you never want to hear this is forced or this is functional. I mean, it's got to function, but you don't want it to feel that way. No, I think they did a good job with that of just how keeping things moving and in and out and around. Again, smart and logical, and just so much fun. Oh my gosh,
And fun.
yep, great job.
I love it, Beaumont. And this was so, oh, I forgot. I didn't go through and check off all the finalists, but they made finals last year. They made finals this year. I don't know if there are any guards in the 3 year rule. I forgot to check independent A. You know what? I will check it and then I will add it in like the intro outro. So,
Okay, cool.
but I know this is their second year in a row making finals. We didn't talk about it earlier, but top five are going to open. And then independent A has and Scholastic A has the 3 year rule. If you make finals 3 years in a row consecutive, you have to go 3 years directly. So like 23, 24, 25. You make finals all three, you go to open. So that's Beaumont. So I'll check and let you know if there's any of those groups in here. So let's move on to 12th place, which was the kind of the talk of independent A for a while, at least especially prelims and
Mhm.
semis A, which was the Aztec Winter Guard from San Diego State University and their show As Above, So Below. They finished in 12th. They came out of semis in 12th. Prelims, they were second or third. And they came into the weekend ranked 36th. They were
Wow,
dead in the middle because there were 72 guards registered. And they were 36th
wow, that's
and
gosh,
jumped up to like second in prelims.
yeah, that's amazing.
And they
Beautiful.
went to the very last regional weekend. So their ranking score was based off that weekend. So it's like, what happened in those like 2 weeks before Dayton?
They put in the work.
And this was the astrology
Goodness.
show.
Yes, the zodiac, and
What's your sign?
I'm a Gemini, so I'm have multiple personalities. I'm a shapeshifter, some people, some might say, which could be good or bad.
Huh. I don't know. I'm an Aries. I don't, people are like, oh, are you a fire sign? I don't know. I don't follow any of that
I
stuff.
don't know. I forget. I don't remember what type of sign Gemini is, but if I read one of the descriptions, I'm like, I can see most of this. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful tarp. And
Yes.
I like that they didn't hit us over the head with the zodiacs because it could have been very like, here's this sign, here's that sign. Like they didn't like blatantly do it. It was a beautiful, very artistic representation, I think, of these these elements coming out of
Yeah, you had the fire
the
corner, the water corner, the air
earth
corner,
and
and
the
the earth corner.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
And then in the middle, you had the little silver stars that were
yes.
kind of hard to see on the high cam, but they were there.
Yeah, and they went around and gave us each of the four corners, and then we, get the big ending moment. But yeah, beautiful show, gorgeous tarp, gorgeous flags, and just super strong performers.
My
Yeah.
only gripe with the show is just, and this is just a me thing, I hate having to listen to a full voiceover throughout the entire show. And they
Hmm.
talked about all the signs and, like the fire signs, Aries is known for that. And just,
Yeah.
it's a me thing. It's a me thing. I like a
In
little less is more with voiceovers.
in UD, I will say it was, well, of course you had the crowd noise too. So it was easy to hear the first one, and then the second one you could mostly hear it. By the third one I was kind of like, what are they saying? And I mean, I knew where it was going, but I also was still trying to like be engaged and listen, and it got harder to hear, but I think that could have also just been the crowd noise too. So yeah, but enjoyable show.
They had an all curve feature. I wrote that down because they pull out the curved rifles, the
That's
curves.
right. And I would be curious to know because as far as I understand, that is not equipment. So
Mm.
that was a big risk if that is still true.
It
So
wasn't very long. So, I mean, I think
it wasn't very long, and there was a flag that popped out shortly after. So, it may not have been a problem at all. It was neat to see it. I mean, it was a cool element and just a change of pace, so to speak, in the mix of everything else that was happening.
I wonder how it lined up with the show, though.
That came out, and I was like, oop, that's a risk because you're not getting credit for any of that.
They can still judge it as equipment, though. You just don't get equipment time, right? Because you're manipulating a piece of
Well,
equipment,
right.
right?
Yeah, yeah, you can still talk about it, but you're just not, yeah, the timing aspect does not meet that. But
Like I said, I couldn't hear, like you said, you couldn't hear a lot of the voiceovers. So I'm curious how the curves related to
that was
the.
came out of the earth
It came out,
corner.
I think, the Earth corner. Yeah, and I don't know what the Earth signs are. So,
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
to me, it would make more sense with the water, just because of like the waves and ripple like a curve. But I
Yeah,
think I don't know. So,
but
but the
whatever.
floor is pretty. They spin well.
Yeah, it's solid group. Were they in finals last year?
No, I don't think so.
Can't remember. Okay, no, okay. I know they've had a great fall program with the university band and everything. They've had a good guard outdoors, so it's
We need
cool to see.
more college guards.
Yeah, it's great. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's great to see those flourishing. So,
All right, let's move on to 11th place. This was a fun one. We had Crescent City Color Guard out of New
yes.
Orleans, Louisiana,
Yeah,
and their show Where There's Smoke. They were 11th in finals, 10th out of semis, 17th in the rankings coming into the weekend.
nice.
And the there was a lot I loved about the show, but that whole fan prop with the material to make the smoke.
Oh my gosh, and it was mesmerizing to watch, and they just
And Homegirl sat on that fan for like a good 2 minutes
it,
just with
it was
that material.
it was a good chunk of time, and just I mean, yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, I don't know, there was something about this show that was just really captivating, and watching them be the smoke, be the ash, and then burst into flames basically at the end, which was exciting.
With the costume change and
Yeah,
yeah.
we got the reveal, and then the fire fabric come out, and yeah, it was really well programmed in that regard for sure.
Yeah, I love the flag toss and they rip their shirts down to reveal a costume change and then
Which
they
was
can
pretty slick because it happened and I was like, whoa, that was fast. And
yeah,
so kudos to them for making that darn near seamless. It was pretty good.
absolutely. Yeah, and then they continue to do a flag ensemble and they're spinning just to the fire crackling noises.
Hmm. That was really,
Really cool. And and it's a simple concept.
yeah.
Smoke, fire, and it's just but yeah, loved it. And that girl just stood on that fan prop with that material and the way it just kept it was like one of those car wash guys. Just that kind of
Yeah, the
how
kind
you could
of
just sit there and watch it for like 20
wiggly
minutes because you don't know
fluid
which way
just
it's gonna go.
pushing around, and yeah, it was that was really fun. It was very good.
And they're out of New Orleans.
I love that they're from New Orleans. I'm like, I mean, it's great. Love it.
Yeah,
There's
no,
there's some good. I know there's some good like marching bands and things that are down in Louisiana, but I don't really know where they're at in terms of just a bubble of activity for indoor stuff. But really cool to see them. I hope they keep going and come back again too. I feel like
yeah.
I don't know if they're brand new or if they're I don't know.
I'd have to look into it. I don't know. I don't know if it's a first year unit or if they've been to Dayton before. I have no clue. I don't remember the last time we had an independent guard out of Louisiana.
I can't think, but
There's that World Guard down there, Iris or something, right?
yes, I believe so. Yeah.
And wasn't there a high school that made finals recently out of like an A guard?
Ooh, that's a great question. I know there's Lafayette, Louisiana. There's Central Lafourche. They have a great band.
What a
Uh,
fun name, Central Lafourche.
there's some other ones down there that are really good in the fall. I'm just not as familiar with the indoor aspect of that state.
Mm,
So, but I love it. I'm glad they came, and the show was fab. Really
yep,
fab. I mean,
yep. Love it, love it, love it.
generated effect out the wazoo and did a great job.
All righty, let's move on to 10th place, which was Rhapsody out of Seattle, Washington, with their show When Pigs Fly.
Oh my God, the pigs, the pigs in mud. It was so good. I loved it so much.
They were seventh out of semis and 32nd coming into the weekend.
Wow. That's incredible. What a jump. And they're from Washington State, I think, right? Is that
Yep,
right?
Washington State, Seattle. Yep.
Yeah. They've been in finals before.
Yeah, I think
Super
didn't they win open like oh god, many years
a
ago
long time ago, I think
with the
so.
Claire de Lune
Or they
show?
won A or Open, I can't remember.
I
Something,
think they
but
might
yeah,
have done both.
this show it took a second. They were setting up and I was like, we got some fences, okay. Okay, what is this? And then it was like, oh my goodness, they're pigs. And they are wallowing in the mud. This is hysterical. But my God, did they sell it? I'll be honest though, from start to finish, was there a plot? Was there a storyline we're following? I'm not really sure. I didn't really care because they were so fun to watch. They were having a blast. All the various pink color uh, textures on their in the costuming was really fun. And then yeah, they just I don't know, the soundtrack was fun. It was kind of a mega mix of
Like love songs almost, right?
various songs. Yeah, it was just I don't know. It was just really fun and kind of campy in a way. And they're great. I mean, they're great performers and very well trained. So, in terms of the color guard aspect of things, they're very good. But the show was just it felt like it just kept building on itself too, of just like it just kept going with the campiness and the oh my gosh, these are pigs. This is so what is going on? What is happening? It a beautiful pink, like sparkly pink flag moment. That was beautiful. I
Yeah. My notes, I have love songs. Like, okay, we're doing love songs. I was like, not sure I get the story, but it was fun. Those are my notes, like when they flip over the like the mud tarps. They
uh-huh.
had like the tarp that had mud on one side, and they're clouds on
And
the other
it's
side.
a cloud, yep, and we're up in the clouds, so we're
And they're using Tal Bachman's "She's So High," and then like we
I
had
mean,
"Stand by Me," "Edge of Glory" by Lady Gaga.
yes.
They had "Wicked Game" at the beginning that was fused with "Stand by Me." Um,
Mhm.
hey, what are we doing? Like, why are we pigs in mud with love songs?
It was just fantastic. I don't know. Yeah, Rhapsody folks, if you're listening, give us some insider info. It'd be fun to know more about what it is, but it was so much fun to watch even without knowing. So yeah, I think they seem to have a great time with it, and it was good.
Oh, mercy, the pig show. I mean, you know what?
I
It's a
mean,
concept I've never seen this before, so
it's good.
let's move on to ninth place, which was our Canada group, Sonar, from La Prairie, Quebec, Canada, and their show, Architecture of the Mind. And I did a program showcase on this color guard. If you would love to listen to it, it's episode 25. You can learn all about the Sonar program. They've been around for like 40 years now. I want to say, I think this might have been their 40th season. And Michael Wattier, who's been the director for quite a while, has been with the guard almost the entire time. Not as the director, but just in some capacity.
Yeah,
So if you
yeah,
want to learn more about them, definitely go check it out. You can learn. It's a very, very good and interesting conversation I had with them.
yeah.
They finished ninth. They came in out of semis eighth, and they were ranked third coming into the weekend. They were another one. Oh, we didn't talk about our predictions, but this was another one where we didn't do so well. A lot of people didn't do very well. But this was one of my favorites of the season. We talked about it in the Scholastic A episode with Madison Central. This one just scratches that itch for me. There's just something about it. It's not trying to be open. It's a solid, great A class show with great training, smaller guard, 11 performers,
Mhm.
young group. Their
Yeah.
average age is 15, and most of them stop marching when they're around 18 or 19. They go off to university. So with these Canada guards, you'll learn that in my conversation with them. But it's not like in the US where they have all this stuff to pull from. They have to find kids and get them in, and because
Mhm.
color guard in high school is not a thing there. They don't have
Yep.
marching band, they don't have high school color guard. So I love the show. And the soundtrack was also designed by our friend Matthew Harris, who's been on the podcast.
Yep.
So shout out to Matt.
Beautiful, beautiful mishmash of different windmills of your mind tracks and yeah, just really beautiful. The costume was beautiful. Uh,
Very sleek.
very
Yeah.
sleek, very sophisticated and mature look for the group. I was, making notes on a lot of the things that I was watching, just things to jog my memory, whatever. And I just wrote down classic Canada. This is classic Canadian color guard. They were just doing it almost felt vintage Sonor from some of their shows from the 90s. Just we got the double flag feature. They spin two 6 foot poles at the same time. And it was great. It was great. Really risky too, and they're in close proximity to one another.
We got a double saber moment.
Oh, that's right, the double saber moment.
where they whip out that blade quad. Oh,
Oh wow,
yeah.
beautiful. The writing of the rifle moment was really exciting. We get this like really cool percussive kind of staccato sounding aspect to the soundtrack, and they did a great job of interpreting that with their bodies and the rifle. And it just kept, I don't know, it was very intriguing just from very start all the way to the finish, the initiation of things and how it built and morphed and then shifted, and we end back. They start in the back left corner, and we end back at the back left corner. Yeah, just great show.
Yeah, I've talked to Michael quite a bit about it, and this shows there's a lot of thinking to be done about this show. A lot of it went over my head, and he even said a lot of it went over the judges' heads at first too, where it's all talking about like the show is designed like the architecture of the mind and how the brain works. So I guess like with staging and things like how like neurons like connect to each other, like he went into like that level of the design, and that's why everything's like in circles, and all the flags have circles on them, and all these things like I almost want to kind of get him back on, like, tell me about your show. Like explain the concept and everything. And I have to give a shout out to the opening soloist with the saber. She does that little single and then the pop where she pops it
Mm-hmm.
back up in the air. And every single show I saw her, everybody was like, ooh, like everybody got so excited about that little pop. So just yeah, love this one. It's not overly complex on a surface level. Maybe at the baser level, you're talking to Michael, like, oh yeah, this little thing here and this
Right.
thing here,
Yeah.
this thing here. I just love it. It has that X factor for me.
Mm-hmm. And it stands out in its own way amongst all these others. And that, and they all stand out in their own way too, and it's doing its job of like, boop, here we are. And it's just, like we mentioned before, it's such a array of variety with themes and concepts across the board. And this one was just like, wow, okay, now for something completely different. It felt like that. And yeah, just beautiful, beautiful job.
Yeah, nicely done, Sonar. This is their second year in a row making finals,
Right.
so if they come back next year, Michael,
Yeah.
you already stressing about possibly going to open this year.
Got some more time to look.
That's a big stressor for them because like we talked about, they can't pull from high school, so they go to open, they have to work with what they
Well,
have,
and
and
that's why like Pacific Airs, they start off in what, independent regional A, they work their way up, they do really well, they kind of do the thing, and then they disappear. And people maybe don't like it, but they kind of have to almost, because the kids get to a certain point and they go away, and then they don't have any more kids, so they got to start over.
yep.
It's hard to keep that going. Anyway, great job, Sonor. Love it.
Great job, Sonar. Yep. Go
Can't wait
listen
to
to that
see you
episode
next year.
next year. Woo! Let's move on to eighth place, which was Relentless out of Miami, Florida, with their show This Room of Mine. They were 11th coming out of semis, and they were first coming into the weekend. They were ranked first.
All right. Goodness. Wow. All right.
And shout out to the team at Relentless. They're big fans of the podcast. So, hey, girl, hey to everybody there.
Oh, hey.
And this is a program that's growing. They used to 2022, they were a world program. And then I
Oh,
think they took a couple, maybe they took just 23 off, maybe
okay.
24 too. I think, because last year I think they came back out and they came back out in A. We only had 7 performers. Now they're out again this year. They're up to
Oh,
12.
that's this group. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Cool.
So
Well,
they're growing the program back, which we love. And I really like the show. We were talking about this. I love the floor. I love the graphicness of that black and white circles. I
yeah.
almost want it on an area rug so I could put it in my dining room or something.
Yeah. Yeah, the tarp was gorgeous. The dress, I think it was a full dress. Beautiful costume. Kind of a black to white gradient kind of ombre look, the costuming, and they were incredibly emotional performers. Like, just wow, they really, you could tell they were putting their heart into this performance, and I think it worked well. Yeah.
I love the staging on this too. I love because there were so many circles kind of overlaid over each other, and just the
Hmm.
pathing they took and just using all of those circles and that ending flag feature with that like reddish purpley violet flag.
Yeah.
And that was the only color in the show because the other flag they had was black and white.
Yeah.
or like a gray.
Yeah, that splash of color was just perfect against everything. Yeah.
And they do that 45 with that like turning stag leap underneath it or whatever. And
That was like shocking. It was like, holy cow, that was amazing. Yeah, because it felt like it almost came out of nowhere. And just, yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah. Really, really pretty show. And probably, I think maybe of the batch, that was the pretty show, so to speak. Like the pretty, I mean, to me anyway, it was like that was the pretty dramatic, angsty ballad that we love in A class. Like,
yeah, I mean, you're right. You're looking through the list of finalists. Yeah.
and I loved it. Like they did a great job with that concept. Because wasn't it like Girl in a White Room or
The
Girl
song's called Big White Room by Jessie J.
Big White Room? That's yeah, okay. They did a great job. I love it.
Yeah, love them. I look forward to see them again next year. Once
Yeah,
again, another 2-year finalist group. So, and they're going to continue to grow. The one thing I get concerned about small color guards just because of financial reasons.
sure.
Dayton is a flat fee. You have 50 people, you have 5 people, you're paying the same registration fee.
Right.
And if you got to spread all those costs across performers, it's much better to have a larger color guard for that aspect.
Yeah.
So these small guards that want to go to Dayton, I mean, it's such an expense for them. So I worry you want color guards to flourish, you want them to do well. So it's like I'm glad to see them growing, help reduce costs and get more people in and being successful. And they're in Florida. They have plenty of schools to pull from.
Yeah.
Let's move on to seventh place. We have Anna Sedora A from Arvada, Colorado, with their show Over You, and they are 797 color guard. So they finished seventh, were ninth out of semis, but they were ranked seventh coming in. So they finished where they were projected to be.
Cool.
And another one we have to shout out to the Annie team. Love them. They love me. Their world team is
Awesome.
in love with me because I manifested them making finals. And I said, y'all did that. I said, I just saw the
Yeah.
magic early, but you guys did the work. And I bought myself an Anna Sedora hoodie that should be here soon. So
Wonderful.
we got some merch.
Yeah. Yeah. Congrats on having both their teams in finals. That's cool.
Yeah, and from what they told me, they're the first organization from Colorado to have a guard make finals in A and World.
Nice. Awesome.
So, and I'm hoping the success can respark Colorado.
Hmm.
Ever since we lost Opus and Oracle,
Oracle. Yeah.
Pomona High School.
Hmm. I mean, the circuit out there is still going, which is great, but I wonder, sometimes it seems like maybe they're more isolated than we realize,
Yeah,
just in their bubble and what's around them. It's like, yeah, it is kind of out there.
it's kind of like the Utah circuit. We're talking with them. It's just, I mean, they're in their bubble, and with
Yeah. Some states it's just hard to get in, get out of, connect more to other teams and people and stuff,
yeah,
but they're doing great stuff there. So
yeah. And I loved the show. I loved a lot of brown like wood floors this year.
a lot of browns, a lot
Oh,
of yeah, that same brownish, rusty browns, coppery browns.
but I
Uh,
love the green that they put on top of it.
it was a great mixing, that kind of not quite olive green, but not super bright. It was like a beautiful, maybe more emerald-y, I guess, but that brown flag they had in the beginning was really pretty.
And it matched the lines on the benches when they stood the benches up, you could see the line and it's like, oh, because you get the flags that kind of like
Ah,
some lines in them and great organization. I mean, obviously the world team made finals and then the A team making finals too. So they've got some quality performers there and hopefully they can pull in some more. And yeah, I really liked it. I was surprised that the A guard was so big. Like I was like because they didn't seem big and until they got to a flag feature, I'm like, whoa, like there's a lot
yeah,
of a lot of people on the
they
floor.
kept like, where are you pulling these people from?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So many great layering or layered moments in this. So much great partnering to kind of tell the story, because it was sort of like a love story-ish kind of vibe. I think anyway. They really used all of that really, really beautifully. Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, I liked how all of this looked. It just was very pleasing to look at with the browns and greens, and then, yeah, building into that flag feature. It was like, where did you suddenly find all these people? Were they hiding under the table? I don't know.
Yeah,
That
and
was
all the dimensions of like the people on the benches, and they stand the benches up and they turn them, and But
Hmm.
because of the coloring of the benches and the coloring of the floor, you don't really notice them move as much.
Hmm.
It's just yeah.
Yeah.
I liked this a lot. I had them in my top five. They were close. Claps to Anisadora A. Congrats on making finals. Let's move on to sixth place with FIU Gold out of Miami, Florida, and their show Beethoven After Dark. They were fifth out of semis, and they were 18th in the rankings coming in.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, a lot of these cards were either out of finals or near the bottom of the rankings list. Sorry, we're talking rankings wise. They were out of the 15 or at the bottom edge of the 15. There's a lot of shocks here. So,
Cool. Wow. This show was a lot of fun. My goodness. It was like techno, Beethoven, neon, jazzy. It was like, because it was like they came in the arena. It was like, because you saw their props and the costume. It was like, what are they gonna do? And the props they had almost gave off like it almost looked a little Dr. Seuss like. Um,
yeah, I can
the
see that.
vibe, just the kind of the cartoony curviness of the thinking they were like giant music stands, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like that's kind of fun, whatever. It was, they set it all up and it was just like, oh my gosh, this is so fun.
I love how they use the traditional version of the piece first, and
Mhm.
then it switches into like they had like the salsa version of Moonlight Sonata or something, and then
Yeah,
so you knew what piece they were working with because you're gonna be like, what is this? So they give you the original first. They didn't have a flag feature though. So my one gripe,
they didn't.
no, they did not.
I could have sworn they did, but okay.
Nope, they did not.
Well,
I mean, they had a part where a lot of people had flags in their hands, but they also had like a rifle line of 10 or 12 on the floor at the same time. They were having a big, like everybody in a big blob kind of a big
oh,
block
okay.
moment.
Maybe it fed my brain the same message. Yeah.
But yeah, lots of attitude. They sold it so well. When the twist on the music kicked in, and the character changed,
Mhm.
excellent, excellent, excellent.
Yes.
And they
So
moved down from open.
I was just gonna ask that. This is the group that came out of Open, and then boom, here they are.
Yep, that's how
Solidly.
Noir got their spot into open main
That's
draw.
right. That's right. Okay.
So they moved down to A and almost got got put right back. They missed it by one spot.
Ah. Oh, yeah. This That was just a lot of fun. Loved it.
Yeah, it was a fun show. Yeah, loved it. Agreed. All right, top five. All of these groups are moving to open class. So fifth place, we had Orlando Visual out of Orlando, Florida. Shocking, right? With
Oh,
their show Neon Moon, they were fifth in finals, sixth out of semis, fourth in the rankings. So
okay. Right in.
right in that little bubble.
Yeah.
And they are technically a new group, but they're a returning group. They'd taken off like about 10 years. They were around about 2011 to
Resurrected.
2015, resurrected exactly. And I did a program showcase with them
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
great. Yeah, that's a
It's
great.
episode 23. So if you want to learn about them and how they came back out and all of this, talk to four wonderful people from their staff. You can listen to what we talked about. And their first year back, they get promoted to open.
Yep.
And they used a cover of the song Neon Moon. I have the artist written somewhere down for my Spotify playlist, but I don't have it
The
here on my
original is Brooks and Dunn,
correct.
and then yeah, this cover was someone
Yeah.
else, but
Someone
great
else.
cover of it. Um,
Doesn't sound too different.
yeah, it still kind of got the country vibe to it or whatever, but I loved it. Took me a second too when they pulled the tarp out and everything. It was kind of like, what are we looking at here? And then it registered, oh, this is like the bar room floor, and the neon sign in the back corner is shining through, and that's why we get the color splashed across the top. I was like, that is a beautiful way to incorporate that. It just wow, yeah, it was really lovely.
Yeah, I thought the floor was pretty, and I love the use of putting the actual neon sign in the backside one corner. I believe that changed color. I think they had it go from purple to blue or something at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah, it was kind of morphing back there, and the flickering that it was doing, like a like a neon sign does, and their costuming with that kind of cowboy-esque stylized top to it was really fun and pretty. I don't
That
know.
ending flag feature.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
And they had that crescent moon like printed on the flag near the pole that was almost like a white stripe that you would put on a flag, like it's like a tick mark.
Yep,
And they were so clean.
it was
So clean.
Yeah. They were a big group too. My goodness. They were
Yeah, I think like 28. I think I counted when I
years ago. Yeah.
regional. I think they're like 28, which
Yeah.
for a first year program,
That's awesome.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
Way to
mean,
go.
basically their first year. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I loved the show. I thought it was great. They were just really enjoyable to watch. I love all the little details that they put in, like the kind of I'm gonna say cowboy-esque kind of details they scattered through, like a free arm here or a element on the silks or just all those little touches to it that just make you feel like you're in a country western bar. Kind of vibe and motif. It was just really fun and yeah, they were excellent, excellent performers and spinners.
yeah,
Like
excellent spinners. Yeah, for sure.
really wow, great skill set from them. So loved it.
Yeah, and the staff knows what they're doing. I think they're going to be just fine and open.
Definitely.
I don't know what we're going to do with open class next year though, because you got five more moving up.
They better just say, "Come on, come on." There's room for them.
Find another venue or something. Move open to the convention center, and they can go all day.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Here we go. See, look, I solved the problem.
So,
No, easy as that, right? Let's move on to fourth place. We had RGV, which is the fan favorite. They're out
yes,
of Edinburgh, Texas. Edinburgh, I don't know. They're out of Texas.
Edinburgh. Yeah.
Edinburgh, Texas. They were fourth in finals, fourth out of semis, 14th in the rankings.
Wow. All right.
And their show was Hip to Be Square. It was the Blippy show that they have branded themselves because they all kind of dress like Blippy. If you don't know who Blippy is,
Yeah.
be thankful. I have young kids, so I know who Blippy is. Fun fact: Blippy shares a birthday with my husband.
Oh, well.
Yeah, they're the exact same age. They were literally born it's like same year.
Oh, wow.
So he's just like,
Is
yeah,
your husband actually Blippy?
no. I wish. I wish I had Blippy's money.
Well, right. Oh,
He
that's
lives
fun.
out on some private ranch in Montana now. Don't ask me why I know this. Don't ask me why I know this. And then they had just a giant orange floor. So my favorite floor of the
Yes,
the weekend.
it
Giant
was.
orange floor with orange boxes.
Yeah, orange. Yeah, the orange boxes, and then their costuming, like the blue, kind of blue on blue with splash of orange, the costume. So it was a great, great contrast with all that, and j this show was just absolutely delightful, and they were having a blast, and
Oh
you
yeah.
definitely tell that they were super into this.
And this is a program that loves the color because last year they did the green show.
That's right.
This year
Great.
is
Oh,
orange.
that one was great too. Yeah, I mean they take a strong color splash and have a great time with it. Yeah, just I mean, super well trained, super fun, energetic, loads of personality, fulfilled that soundtrack so well. Uh,
Great soundtrack too. They use Take Five. The beat goes on. What is hip? And I think with that hip hip chin chin song, I don't know
mhm.
the actual name of it, but
But
they
that
use
one, yeah, that one, yep.
and
Um,
then yeah, finishing with What is hip, which
Super fun, Tower of Power. Yeah, I mean, everything they did was just infused with personality and super, super great to watch.
and they move the boxes around so effortlessly. Like you
They
did
were picking those things up, slinging them around, jumping on them. I mean, wow. Yeah, that was, I know people have used that type of prop before. Would love to know what it is and where do you find it? Because they carved a notch in it so that they could grab it, like a handle almost. Yeah, I would love to know what is that material? Where do you get it?
because
Because
it's pretty strong, but it's small and
strong enough to sit and stand on, but light enough to pick it up real easily and not. Yeah, it's really interesting.
yeah.
A foam, I guess a foam type material maybe or something. I don't know, but if you know what it is, let us know.
And that ending flag feature with the purple with the orange squares
Oh,
on them. It's just so good. And this they peaked at the right time. They were like a slow burn color guard. They just kept working and working and working. And like, when we get a date, we'll be fine.
yep.
And here they are. Now they're going to open. So they don't have to worry about the 3-year rule because this was their second year in a row making finals. So next
Yeah.
year, do pink and do a Pepto Bismol show.
Ooh, I love pink
I want to see what color they come up with next year. Congrats, RGV. I think well deserved on the fan favorite as well.
very much so. Yep.
Yep. All right, moving on to top three, our medalists.
Ooh.
So third place, we had Impulse Independent out of Covina, California,
Yep.
and their show Stay Gold. So they were third in finals, second out of semis, 10th in the rankings.
Okay. Wow.
So we had a lot of shakeups at the top three. They all finished in a new place, and
Yeah.
this was like kind of like the junkyard show.
Yes. Yeah. We had the wood planks, the tires. I wrote down it's giving vintage Carroll High School 97, Carolina Crown 2001. We've seen this from Michael Shapiro before, and it works every time. It's super fun set design, effortless interaction with all the props, beautiful coloring, the costuming, that kind of bluishy purple kind of colors in the costumes against this kind of rusty junkyard set design. Yeah, just really very pleasing to look at. I like the soundtrack too. I didn't really storyline wise, I didn't scream anything to me, but I mean it was just a great show.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the song is called "Stay Gold" because I heard it say "Stay
Oh,
Gold"
that
in the
that is the
lyrics.
song.
I
Okay.
believe that is the song.
Okay.
I will double check that, but I'm pretty sure that is the song. And yeah, I remember seeing this at the Manhattan Beach Regional, and I think they were like third or
Mhm.
something. So they've been clearly they were putting some work in. They might have beat Maharlika there. No, I think they were behind Maharlika there. I don't remember. Oh,
Yeah.
I've seen so much color guard.
So many, so many things. But
And I hadn't heard of this guard before. Are they new or new-ish?
I'm not sure if the Winter Guard is new or not. I'm curious to know if they're connected to Impulse Drum Corps, which has been around for a while.
Quick post-production note: Impulse Winter Guard is a first-year unit, and they did beat Maharlika at the Manhattan Beach Regional. Oh, kind of like Esperanza did, but Esperanza was reversed. They were color guard first, and then
Mm.
yeah, interesting. But they got a bronze medal of it, and they missed the silver medal by 0.015.
Yes.
So tight.
Very great show. Excited to see what they do in open class.
Yeah, and they were second to. I'm sorry, they were just behind Maharlika, who was in second place.
Hmm?
Out of now, I always said this Delano, California, but everybody they were saying Delano, so I don't know, but I can't trust the WGI announcers. So
Delano.
anyway, that's where they're from. And they show pages of the past. They finished second. They were first at a semis. They were fifth in the rankings coming in. And they had a little sound error when they started the show. They played the wrong track, and they had that poor performer ready with his rifle because he start literally performing their show, blah, 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 toss.
Yep.
And you could see him take his hand off the gun and like wipe the sweat off his fingers and replace it as they were getting the music queued up. I
Uh,
don't know whose music they played. I
I
think
don't-
you know what I think it was FIU's. Now that I'm thinking about it, because they played that Beethoven.
Beethoven. Oh, wow.
I
Yeah.
think they played FIU's music. This was the pages,
Hmm.
and some really cool moments in the show. That opening toss, I when he nailed that toss after that super long stretch and the
Uh-huh.
music being wrong, I was like,
I,
please God, let him catch this.
I know. Oh my gosh. It was, yeah. Oh,
But I mean, I think my favorite part of the whole show was the end when they just went bananas with all those papers.
long things with all that paper. I just kept asking, where's all this paper coming from? It was almost like, I mean, they were doing a great job of hiding, either picking it up or passing it to each other, however they were doing it all. And then boof, there it is. Boof, there. Like, it was just really well done in terms of bringing that out from wherever it was and introducing it, like, just, and it kept happening. So much paper. Oh my
And
gosh.
you know, because it was finals, you know, they probably added a good 30 sheets to each pile. I saw something on their Instagram that said somebody asked how long does it take to clean up, and they said after rehearsal like 15 to 20 minutes, but it takes them almost an hour after a show to clean up all the and like 'cause I think they have to sort it out because of the colors and everything.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Well,
Can you imagine that? All right, where's the yellow pile? Where's the
ugh.
A crew pile?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a lot.
And I like that ending flag feature too. I love how it just like stops for a second and then
Mhm.
they rip
Yeah,
that toss out.
and poof, yeah, right into the toss. Yeah, and the splash of the gold at the end was great. I mean, yeah, because we get kind of this grayscale-ish kind of coloring to start with, and then that
They-
splash
they-
of the blue in the middle, which is kind of like a palette cleanser, and then we get the big gold at the end.
and was the costume like a crushed velvet? It was gray, but I couldn't
I don't know if
really
it was actually crushed velvet, but it definitely
or
I would
printed
say
to look like it.
printed, maybe printed to look like. I'm not sure. Yeah, what the actual fabric was, but yeah, it was kind of like a cracked, marbly looking grayish kind of motif, kind of matched the floor almost a little bit. It was really beautiful. I mean, beautiful aesthetic. So yeah, great
Yeah.
job.
I love that snow globe effect at the end of just all those papers. I do love that.
I love that. I I hope there's some picture of that moment where the paper is like in the air and they're under it. Like I hope someone was able to get a cool shot, like just the
Oh, like a in the bubble kind of shot.
like that would be really cool.
I almost want more. Like, I mean, I want to know. I want to know how many pieces of paper that was. Like, how many pieces of paper did y'all pull out for finals? How
I mean,
many reams?
a ream is usually 500 pages,
I
so
think so. Yeah.
give or take, and I mean
I I, I
thousands.
would say, I would say maybe that could be over 1,000 pieces of paper.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, you take one ream of paper, you split it amongst 30 people. You're not giving them very many pieces,
Mm-mm.
or however many performers they had. So, congrats to Maharlika. I know it's kind of a crushing defeat, or second place. I won't say defeat, but just
But nothing to be ashamed of. So
nothing to be ashamed of. Exactly. Our first place winner was Caledonia Independent out of Caledonia, Michigan, and their show Trapped. They were third out of semis, second in the rankings. In semis, it went Maharlika, Impulse, Caledonia, and then in finals, it goes Caledonia, Maharlika, Impulse. And this is the Venus Flytrap show. This is the neon green sequins with the
it
pink
was
trim, and
yes.
they're using Equus by Eric Whitaker. And this we talked about this. Did we talk about this Classic A episode? Of just having a soundtrack that's very hard to count.
Hmm.
And this piece, you listen to it, you're like, how are you counting this?
No clue.
It's like 5-4 on top of 6-8 on top of 7-8 on top of 12-3 on top of pi r squared with a triangle thrown in there. Like,
Exactly.
I'm just like, what is this? Like, how it's so strange, but it fit the show.
Hmm.
The floor was very cool with the printed Venus flytrap, and one of my favorite moments was they have these rifle tosses in the beginning that are just like on opening, like dings in the music, but it's not on the
Hmm.
catch. It's like the high point of the toss.
Yeah.
It was just the way they timed it was very interesting because it's not your typical, oh, I'm going to catch on the ding. No,
Yeah.
it was literally the height of the toss, the apex, the acme, if you will.
The snap of the trap, perhaps.
Mm.
She ate on the she's snapping to get the rifle, which is acting as a fly, perhaps. I'm reading really far into that.
Yeah, you are.
But
Love the show. Love the ending flag feature.
oh my gosh,
And
that was incredible at the end. Oh, how wow. Just wow, wow, wow.
yeah, and I love how usually I'm a big give me that ensemble group toss, but I love how they did three separate tosses with it
Yeah,
with
boom,
musically,
yeah.
and it wasn't even the same toss. Like everybody did, like one group does the four count. It was three completely different tosses. It just worked so well. And another big group, I think like another 30 people.
30 or maybe more. Yeah, it was big, 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 big. And they were just great. It was just loads of GE, which I always love, of course. And the sequins you mentioned, I mean, yeah, it was just great. They were great at the Indy Regional when we saw them in February.
Yes. Oh, and that rifle at the end. He
Oh,
nailed he
yes.
nailed the
And
out of
boom.
that. He
Yes. It was
boom nailed it
really, really super well done on that. Yeah.
and timed it perfectly, which is tricky to do.
Mhm.
That's how you're gonna end the show. If you don't hit it on the note, you're like, oh, won't won't.
Right. It
And
was,
and they had printed the LeMay flags, right? They were printed on LeMay, the or
I think the first yeah, the first flag they brought out was like, yeah, printed on the iridescent, and it had like a little sliver of something through it. Yeah. And then the last one, I don't know what the last one was, if it was LeMay or not, I'm not sure, but beautiful though. My gosh,
Yeah.
really, really beautiful.
And with all that color, it wasn't overwhelming either.
No, I mean it was a lot of green on green on green, but the splashes of the pink and there's some blue in there, just all that extra to set it off and yeah, make it feel like it's not so muddy or overwhelming. Really, really amazing.
Yeah.
Huge
I
fan.
loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
That soundtrack is so strange though. Not and I mean like the tempo and
Yeah, no,
the count structure is like
like how do you even begin to where's one?
yeah.
Where yeah. Oh gosh. But super, super cool, exciting for them. All those groups that are gonna move out of this class, I think they're all gonna have a great time in open.
Open was a bloodbath this year. I can't imagine what's gonna be like next year. They have to expand that. They got to get past 40 because
Have to do that.
we're gonna be over 50 next year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's they gotta fix that.
Yeah.
But
So well, that is a wrap on independent A finals.
whew, we did
A,
it.
A class is done. We will be back with our next group. I don't know if we're going to do open or world next. We could just move up the ladder. We'll figure that out. But we're tired, so we're going to get these out as soon as we can. If you have any insider information you want to share with us, you can message me on Instagram. You can shoot me an email at flagsinagym.pod@gmail.com. You can leave comments on the Spotify version of the podcast because I can reply to comments there. But let us know. We always love the insider information, the designer information. Oh, actually, it's this. We'd love to know that.
Yeah.
And yeah, A class is done.
Woohoo.
The backbone of the sport. We did you first
Right.
because you are the most important to this activity.
Exactly. Without you, we wouldn't be here.
Exactly. All righty, sir. Well, I'm
All
going to
right.
let you go.
All right.
We'll be back next time. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
All righty, that's a wrap on this one. Just a very quick wrap up. We will catch you next time with Open. We are moving on to Scholastic Open next. Again, if you have any extra information you want to include or let us know, we love all the behind the scenes stuff. So shoot it over to me. And yeah, I will catch you all next time. So until then, stay safe, stay fabulous, and remember at the end of the day, it's just flags in a gym.